Well, what's going on YouTube? So this is going to be episode 1 of the 2000 limited build. Episode 2 is an unboxing of all the parts that are be going into her. So I picked this thing up fairly cheap in Winnipeg. It's not safetied. It's a 2000 Toyota 4Runner Limited with the 3.4 V6. It's got the factory fogs, dual climate control, leather, sunroof, all that kind of stuff. I had to throw a new battery into it. It had been sitting on a riverbank for for almost a year. And I just picked this up a couple of months ago, and I've kind of just been going through it, kind of seeing what it needs and slowly tinkering on little things here and there. It's running fine now. I threw some fresh gas in it. It's running okay. It had a wicked misfire, and I didn't know if that was plugs or not. We're gonna throw new plugs in it. But so yeah, it's got some dings. Typical rust in the bumper corner. It's got a pretty good ding there. It had a broken passenger window. I had that done at Speedy Glass in Winnipeg. The cost it was to order a piece of glass and have it shipped, it was literally like $60 more just to have them replace it. So for my time peeling the door open and everything, I could do it, but for $60 it's not really worth it. So this thing is bone stock. There is nothing nothing at all done to it. It's got almost brand new BFG all-terrains, 265 70/16, I believe. They are KO2s. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, LT 265 70R16. They are load range E's, so they are fairly beefy tires. I've done the Carfax on this truck, and yeah, you can see all the haze and crap on the paint. On the riverbank, it had a piece of plastic over the window, a bunch of tape and stuff all on there. And the sun and rain and snow and everything had just destroyed it. It was all down the side of the truck, and the whole passenger seat was just full of mold and all kinds of stuff. And I've somewhat cleaned that out. It needs a good detail inside and out. But this thing is bone stock. There's nothing done to it. Nicked something down here in the corner, and I guess a rock chip hit that fog light lens, because she's toast. But there's another one right here in the headlight. So down the road, it's going to get a headlight. It will get a fog light. As far as that bumper goes, probably not going to do anything with it. I'll leave it as is. This truck is going to be the wife's daily driver. So yeah, like I said, I threw a battery into it just to get it started. I picked this up a few months ago in February 2019, and yeah, we boosted it in this guy's like little parking lot thing down by the river in Winnipeg. And I drove it onto a car hauler. And basically, once I shut it off, that was it. There was no starting it again. The heat worked, all the functions worked, all the windows work, and all that kind of stuff. It did have locks on it, but again, there is no, look at that weight. That's a fair bit of weight in one spot. But there was no key for the lock. So I have since cut them all off. That way I can at least take the, take the wheels off. And these won't be the rims that are on it. I'm gonna try and find some of the newer 5-star rims and take these tires off and put them onto the 5-star rims. I do have the factory rims from my 97. But again, they're like that triple 2-spoke kind of alloys that the earlier third gens came with, and the paint's all peeling off them, and even if they're in good shape, I still think they're ugly. Those 5 stars look not bad, so I'm gonna try and find a set of 5 stars on Kijiji, or there's a couple of used car lots over on the east perimeter around Winnipeg, and I see a 2000 or an 01 4Runner sitting down there, and they're like, it's in minty shape from what I see from the perimeter, sitting right along the side of the train tracks. It's been there for like a couple of years now, so I might pull in there and see if I can either pick up the whole truck, or if I can buy parts off of it, or what. So yeah, this dent will get fixed. It does have some rust here and there, so it's got some up by the rear latch here. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. It does have some up by the rear latch there. We'll have to fix that. I do have the original door that was on my 97 on 4Runner, and it had some wicked, horrible patching on each corner, and that's why I ended up picking up this door used for $100. But anyways, the middle section here on my other door, it's sitting back in that pile of crap over there. That section of the door is okay, so I might cut it out and weld it back in, or something. But yeah, like, this truck is bone stock. It was missing a rear headrest, which I'm picking up tomorrow afternoon into the evening from a guy in Kijiji. He has a headrest, he has the rear spoiler that pulls air down the back door to keep the back window clear, all factory, and he has the factory beige 4Runner floor mats, and they're all in good shape. So I'm picking those up off him off Kijiji. But yeah, we'll do a little walk through the truck here. Came with a hitch and a couple extra balls and a bunch of crap in here. I'm not even going to tell you guys what I bought this truck for. It's stupid cheap for the condition that this thing is in. Like, I could part it out and make money. But yeah, so in the winter, in the cold, like in February when I bought it, these gas struts get pretty weak. They don't quite lift the door up, so we'll get new gas struts for it. I haven't ordered them yet. But like, it's in real good. I put this crap in here, don't worry, that didn't come in it. But like, the seats, everything, it's in good shape. Yeah, like, there's some scuffs and some scrapes, and, you know, typical wear and tear. I mean, it's a 2000, it's 19 years old now. It's not by any means a new truck, and, you know, obviously people loading stuff in and stuff rubs the roof and everything, but like, it's in real good shape. Like, all this stuff works. That looks like it has been used before, but it doesn't smell like smoke in here. This is destroyed on my 97. But yeah, like, everything's intact, like, nothing's broken. The rear holders are absolutely destroyed in my other truck. High-low works, rear heater core and everything works. It's under that seat, if you guys don't know. There's a fair bit of like coffee staining and stuff, so I think once we get everything fixed and we really dive into this thing, we probably are going to pull the front seats out, and just give this thing a good steam and shampoo, and we'll clean all that. I have a small detail company as well, so we have all the equipment and everything to do that, so we'll get that all wrapped up. A little bit of surface rust coming in there, not too worried about that. We'll go through the rest of the truck here, and then we'll hop underneath, and I'll show you the reason I got it cheap. So this is loose. Looks like it's you know, it's just popping out of the little groove that it's supposed to sit in, so we'll deal with that. But just super clean. You know, typical rust on the bare metal, which is expected. A little bit of salt damage there. We'll have to steam that all out. Driver seat's in, like, it's in great shape considering it's got 312,000 kilometers on this thing. Power, everything works. Lumbar switch is missing, just like you guys always know. You lean on this and it squishes the leather and the thing just pops right out. So I believe that's sitting in the center console. Four-wheel drive works, the auto, the 4 high and 4 low, all of that all works. Everything with the transmission works, all the cigarette lighters work, radio, it's intermittent. It's just an old JVC. I've never had good luck with JVCs, and Kenwood used to be good until JVC bought them, and now I'm just not a fan of the new stuff. I bought a newer JVC for my other truck, and I didn't want to, but it was a good price, and it's again just crap. But yeah, the factory dual climate control and all that, it all works. The rear window goes up and down perfectly fine. The transmission control, all that stuff works. Cruise and everything works. There might be a key in here, hang on, there we go. Oh, sorry, I got the battery disconnected because it's been sitting for a little bit. But yeah, it's got 312,000 clicks. So this is gonna be the wife's daily driver. That is in the glove box, but it's missing one of the little roll pins that makes a hinge, so I just gotta get a roll pin and pop that in. Sunroof and everything, good shape, nothing leaks, all that kind of stuff. It even has the factory little 4-wheel drive cards in the sun visor, which 9 times out of 10 you look at any old Toyota like this and that's missing. And so I'm pretty surprised. Like I said, I did the Carfax on it, and I am the 3rd owner now. So it had, well, I guess 4th if you consider the used car guy that I found it from. He never registered it in his name, but he did buy it from the guy. So this truck was originally bought in Portage La Prairie, Manitoba, brand new. And it had one owner up until about 200,000 kilometers, I believe, is what the Carfax said. And so yeah, it had one owner for that, and it had that the rear dented door, or the dented hatch. That was on the Carfax, and it was, I think they called it a $2,200 claim. But it was never fixed, so that's just sitting here. But like, carpet's in great shape, you know, some coffee staining, miscellaneous, not bad at all. Don't have a registration, it's in my name already. But yeah, seats are in great shape. This thing was absolutely black with mold. You can still see it's kind of dark in the stitching here and there, and down here. So I gave it just a quick once over, but we're gonna hit it with the hot water, some cleaner, and steam and vinegar, and we'll steam this whole seat out and recondition it, and we'll get it soft. If you look down here, this is real leather as well on these trucks, and you can just see how soft it is. Like, it is just, it's really nice. And you look at the, you know, the dirty seats that have been sat on, you can just like you can just hear how rigid they are. And you can bring the seats back from that. You can bring them back to that side. It just takes a little bit of TLC. You can still see some of the tape residue from when the window was broken. But like, it is in great shape. Let me throw this stuff over here, and you know, I guess he had kids. There's some food and dried food and stuff, but like, it even has the factory. Like, look how clean it is in here. Factory jack and everything. My other Toyota doesn't have that right now. I mean, the factory jack is nowhere near high enough once I lifted my other one, but like, it's just in phenomenal shape for what it is. But yeah, anyways, it was bought from Portage La Prairie. I'll show you that little bit of surface rust in the corner of the rocker there as well. So that's standard on these trucks. You know, it's 19 years old. It's gonna happen. I'll show you what you gotta watch out for on 4Runner here, on my 97. Don't worry about the mess. But this is what happens to the rockers. And there's like this plastic trim that Toyota put on. It just collects moisture and water, and you can see someone did a patch before me here, and it is just, falling apart. This is how the rear door was done on this truck. Like, just, it's like someone used glorified tin foil and like just lathered it on with body filler, and I don't know, but like it is toast. There's no rocker left underneath there. So there will be a video of me fixing this down the road later this summer. But that's what I was worried about with this truck, because I've been sitting down by the river. Literally, like, the bank was like 30 degrees, and this thing was like, I think in the springtime in high water, I bet you the river would be touching the back wheels where it was sitting. Like, it was not in a good spot at all. Anyways, so yeah, second owner was a guy that bought it from Portage La Prairie Toyota used at 200,000 kilometers, and then I guess drove it. And from what I understand, he lived out near Beausejour, Manitoba, or something like that. He was a restaurant owner or something, and he daily drove this thing for a little over 100,000 kilometers. There was a windshield claim when he had it, so they put a new windshield in it. But outside of that, that was it. And then he traded it in to this used car dealer that I bought it from, and yeah, he traded it in from the used car dealer for a 4th gen 4Runner, I think in 04 or 05. But anyways, he traded this 4Runner in, and because it has some frame rust, I'll show you guys that right away, but because it has some frame rust, the used car dealer sat on it for over a year and just never did anything with it. So I threw a new battery in it. Shout out to Manitoba Battery on Logan in Winnipeg. Great pricing on batteries. Great service there too. But yeah, you can look at it. Like, I haven't cleaned in here. I haven't done absolutely anything. And it is just, it's bone dry. I mean, it's dusty, which is to be expected, but like, it is just clean. There's been no mice damage. I don't know if you can see, but like, you look down in there, like valve covers, nothing is leaking. It is absolutely perfect. Checked all the belt deflections, everything's set properly. The power steering rack isn't weeping or anything like that. It's just in really good shape. Let me get down on the ground here for you guys. And like you can see, you know, typical surface rust. I mean, it's a 2000. There is one bolt missing on the skid plate, but I mean, outside of that, like, it's got I believe it's the driver's side diff seal is leaking a little bit, but like, if you look all the way back, like, it's just bone dry outside of this little front diff leak, which I'm not even too worried about. You know, it's got some surface rust, that's for damn sure, but everything works 100%. We will be pulling the calipers and everything off because I have new ball joints. I got all new stuff for that, and just looking at the condition of the rust down here, I'm probably going to be snapping that metal brake line off. So we'll be bending up a new one for that. I'll do a video on how to bend and what to watch out for and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, we'll go around to the back there by the back wheels, and I'll show you why I got it cheap. So, let me get right down here. So, it's not too bad on this side, but if you look underneath here, like, the bottom of the frame is toast. It's seen better days. Anyway, so yeah, it's got all the factory skid plates and everything, which 4Runner, my 97 when I bought it, had absolutely none of this. And well, we'll do an intro to 4Runner and what his story is and all that kind of stuff, and why 4Runner's lifted and how it came about and and all that kind of stuff. But I'll show you this side. So look at this side. It is toast. And this frame is soft all the way almost to that B-pillar body mount. So yeah, basically we are going to be grinding, cutting, welding, doing some steel work on this frame, and it'll have to wrap up past the rear perch. I don't know if you call it a perch, probably not. Lower control arm mount, past the body mount up there. Just to fix this. It's I'm not sure what has happened exactly. Like, you can see it bends up, and I think that's the factory bend in the frame. But it almost looks like it was like hit. It was hit here or something, maybe. Not entirely sure. Anyways, this video is getting way too long. I tend to ramble on a little bit. But anyways, so we'll talk about quick for a few minutes the direction I want this thing to go, what we're gonna do to it, and kind of what this little mini series kind of thing is gonna do. I don't know how many episodes it's gonna be. I'd like to keep it, you know, not stupid long where you guys are gonna have to watch this for the entire summer, but long enough that my videos can be fairly in-depth. So if you're tackling any of this at home, you know, you guys can tackle it at home without having to calling people and spend hours on forums, and that's the way this build went. And there's Timmy the Toolman on YouTube. He's got a lot of good videos. He is a Toyota tech. He's got a lot of good videos about doing certain stuff, but he does everything by the book. He has all the Toyota specific tools and everything. And his videos are absolutely awesome, and he's helped me out a lot for this one, watching some of his stuff. The only problem I find is, you know, I don't have the Toyota factory tools, and because he's in the southern states, you know, you don't have to deal with salt and rust, where in a matter of 3-4 years, some of factory bolts on brand new vehicles are already seized because of just the salt and the winters we have here. So that one was torching and grinding and cutting, and like everything was a fight to get that thing lifted. Like it should have been a day, considering it's just strut spacers and new springs and shocks, and it was a matter of 3 weeks and just parts, and it was an absolute nightmare. So this one I'm sure is going to be the same way, but we'll take you along anyways. So the plan for this one is 5-star rims with those tires, and they'll stay that way. It's going to be the wife's daily driver. We have adjustable front Bilstein struts that have to be assembled with AC Delco professional springs. So those are going to be set to 1 inch of lift. So we're going to lift it up a little bit just to give it some more height. You know, I don't need to make it crazy high. I don't need to affect the axles and kill CVs and everything that I've done with these. Just the weight of the tires and the unsprung weight and everything is just insane. So it's killed that truck. But this one, I got Rancho polyurethane 1.5 inch spacers for the rear. So the back's gonna go up 1.5 inches, front's gonna go up 1 inch. Engine wise, we're just gonna do a tune-up. We're doing new plugs, new wires, change PCV, oil change, probably do a coolant flush and fresh coolant in there. I'm not planning on doing the timing belt and the water pump and all that. Nothing's leaking yet, and I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. When it was running, the alternator's putting out, you know, just over 14 volts, which is exactly what it's supposed to be doing. So the alternator and everything's fine. All those belts look in great shape, so we won't be doing any of that. Air filter will get changed. We'll clean out the mass airflow sensor, just because I had an issue about 10,000 kilometers ago with this thing. And this thing's not quite at the mileage that one is, but you know, it's getting there, and I'm going to be in there with changing the air filter and everything, so I might as well. We might do the intake silencer delete. I did that to this one. I'm not entirely sure. That one, it'll be at the end of the series if we do it, because it's not really necessary. The lights won't get changed right away. We will be throwing some LED headlights in, and up in the grill on each side of the license plate we'll be mounting some little 6-inch pods, LED light bar pods, just for some extra light, so that'll be coming as well. But yeah, so we'll be changing the wheels, steps and everything are going to stay the same. We have the vent visors to go over the doors. That will happen once we cut and polish and paint seal the entire truck. So you can see the water staining and everything on the side. Rubber and stuff needs shape. We're going to do some paint touch up on the roof rack just to bring that back to life. The hood's got some tree sap and water spotting and stuff like that. Previous owner had, hopefully you can see that, previous owner had his block heater cord hanging out and it's been swinging here and it's left a whole bunch of rub marks in the clear coat, so we'll be polishing all that out. Like I said, I do some detailing, so we have all the equipment to do that. Greasable upper ball joints, greasable lower ball joints, greasable outer tie rods. We got new Pro Forged inner tie rods going in. We'll get this thing for an alignment. What else? What else in the front? Might have to do calipers and brakes. I didn't order anything for that yet, just because I wanted to see what's behind there first. The rotors look in good shape. I'm just not sure on the life on the pads. Same thing with the shoes and everything for the rear. Don't know what's going to be happening with that until I get in there. I don't know if it's going to need wheel cylinders, hardware, e-brake cables. Everything's operational, so, and I've driven it like plenty. Just we're out in the country here, so back roads and stuff are not an issue. But yeah, everything will be basically staying factory. We got, like I said, we're gonna get new lift struts for the rear hatch. The rear, so it's gonna get the new AC Delco professional springs with the little 1.5-inch spring spacers, new Bilstein 5100 shocks to match the front. And if you guys have ever dropped an axle and get springs out, you got to disconnect the factory sway bar that's up in there. It's located just in front of the wheel right there, you can see it there. So we have greasable ones to go underneath. The sway bar runs down to the rear axle and it's got bushings on the rear axle, so we have new bushings for that. And we got a new, because you undo that bolt, it's just because it's only an M8 bolt or a 13 mil wrench, it's thin and it's weak, and just with the seized nut, doesn't matter how much you spray it, heat it up, whatever, as soon as you turn it, it just shears off. So we're just going to grind that off, put new stuff on. We're going to get some steel angle for the frame. We'll be dropping the gas tank and everything so we can do that job properly. But yeah, and we'll be sticking up some steel, and it's basically going to run from the B pillar all the way to the D pillar, just reinforcing that whole frame. And then we'll be wire wheeling the whole bottom of the truck and doing some rocker guard and undercoating. I don't know about undercoating. It's, people say that if you undercoat a truck, because it's that asphalt base, it traps moisture on the inside of the undercoating and makes it everything rust faster. That's what I've heard. Go in the comments, tell me your thoughts. I'm up in the air whether we should rocker guard the whole bottom of the truck, or if we should undercoat the whole underside of the truck, or if I should go as far as doing like a KBS treatment or something from an auto body shop, where we, you know, do the whole KBS blast rust treatment, prime the whole underside, and then hit it all with just black chassis paint. That's more of like a muscle car restoration thing, and to do the bottom of this truck, like it's a few $100s, and I don't really know if I want to go that far, but this thing's it's a pretty nice looking truck, so that's pretty much the plan for it. But yeah, so this will be episode 1. I'll wrap it up here as we're getting up to half an hour, which is just ridiculous. But oh yeah, there you go. Driving a little erratic. So these are all the parts we got for her, and episode 2 is going to be an unboxing of all these parts. They all came from Rock Auto via FedEx. And yeah, what is this? Upper ball joint. So yeah, we got upper ball joint, O2 sensors for 4Runner. There'll be a little bit of a kind of a maintenance series for 4Runner as well. It's well, since the lift, it now needs axles and ball joints and U joints, and it needs some help. So I'll do a quick video too on how I built this little rack. I got little Rubbermaids because I had to get an aftermarket jack. Now that I'm sitting up this high off the ground, like it's I can actually sit underneath here and put my head up where the spare tire used to be, and yeah, that thing's leaking like a sieve. I'll do a video on why that's doing that. It's not leaking out of a cap or a pinion or anything like that. It's seeping through the casting. Anyways, just past the 30-minute mark. I'm gonna wrap this up because it's dragging on. Hopefully the wind isn't too bad today. But yeah, that's the plans for this. We got a new radio for it. It's gonna have a CompuStar 2-way aftermarket alarm and remote start. We'll be doing a video on installing that. That's coming in the mail. Won't be here till next week. We'll do a video on how to wire up the wire harness and what all the wires mean behind the radio, and how you can wire a DVD radio so that you don't have to have the e-brake on to watch DVDs while you're driving. I know that's probably breaking some laws, but well, you know, it's no different than having the giant screens like the Teslas and stuff do now. Like, that's got to be considered distracted driving. It's like a 16-inch frickin' touchscreen. Like, that's not safe. Anyways, so we'll be doing that. It's also getting a backup camera to go along with that touchscreen radio. Like I said, it's going to be the baby hauler and the wife's daily driver, and she's in a Jeep right now, and Patriot, not a real Jeep. And it's too small. It was good for one baby, but with baby number 2 coming, there's just no room inside that thing. So if anybody wants to buy a 2015 black Jeep Patriot high altitude, fully loaded, heated leather, sunroof, DVD, navigation, all that stuff with aftermarket rims, well, shoot me a message. It's up for sale. It's 2015, still under factory warranty. It's got 80,000 clicks, 83 I think, and it's in really good shape. Had some scratches, polished those out and stuff. It's got paint sealants and windshield coatings and all that fancy stuff done to it. So but yeah, anyways, we'll wrap up this video. That's kind of the direction I want to go here. So this will be episode 1. Episode 2 is an unboxing of all the parts. Episode 3, just because I have the parts, probably be an unboxing of the in-car DVD radio that we're doing, and how to wire up the Metra harness. That way it's literally just plug and play. And then episode 4, well, we'll see. If I'm tearing the dash out of this thing, I probably want to do that once I have the alarm system, which isn't going to be here till next week. That came off Amazon, so we'll see where this is going. But like and subscribe if you want to watch this this series. Relatively new to YouTube. This is going to be the first of a few videos I'm putting out, so if you hit the old like button, that'll help me out, and greatly appreciate it. So yeah, we'll wrap this up. So it's a 2000 Toyota 4Runner with the 3.4 V6. This will be the first of a string of videos getting this thing going over this summer. It's pretty much going to be all these videos over the next roughly 2 months, like June and July, just because baby's due in August, and wife's getting a C-section and having her jump up into this lifted thing. She's 6.5 months pregnant now, and getting her into this thing right now is just an absolute, it's just not working out. And this thing, being a rough country, it's rough and bouncy, and it's just not good. So this thing needs to be running in the next couple of months. So we're gonna do the frame fix, the radio, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, I'm gonna shut up now. Like and subscribe down below. Hit the comments if you got any suggestions, if you think I should be doing something. I thought about getting a sport hood for it, something like that. I'm not sure. So we're gonna do a little bit of a lift and then a couple lights. I don't have a plan for anything else, maybe LED lights or something inside, but hit the comments if you got some suggestions, or if you got a 4Runner as well, and you know, maybe transfer me to your channel if you got some stuff done to it, or send me some pictures or whatever. I'd love to see them. I never was a Toyota guy, and I got 2 now, and well, I'd like to find an older pickup, or even a Tacoma. That'd be cool to do a Tacoma build or something like that in the future, but we'll see where that goes. Anyways, also, anybody that knows, I got the same problem with both these things. The rear locker, factory rear locker, this one has a crack in the housing, so obviously that's an issue, but this thing looks absolutely fine. on the rear diff. When I put it in 4 low and you push the button, you know, the light flashes in the dash, and it's supposed to go solid when the rear diff is locked. It just flashes and flashes and flashes till the cows come home in both these trucks. And I don't know what the fix is. I've been reading online, they say that there's like a little plastic gear that gets worn out or something, but if you can hit the comments or send me some messages as to if you had this problem and what you did to fix it. I've been trying to find YouTube videos, nobody's made any, so it would be great to get some input to see what it's going to take to fix these things. And if you can find parts, like Rock Auto's got a whole new locker rear end for it, but it's like $1,000, and it's like the trucks aren't worth it, you know. Even in good shape, they're worth $4 or $5 grand. So I don't really want to be putting $1,000 into the thing for a new locker. I did just buy like almost $2,000 in parts for this thing, but at the same time I got it like just hilariously cheap. So it is more than $1,000 I paid for it, but it's yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up now. Hit the comments, let me know what you guys think. Thanks.